Thank you, Chairman. I'm so sorry. I've been having technical difficulty today on my laptop, so please bear with me. Thank you so much for holding this important hearing. While Puerto Rico may be very far from my district, the problems we're talking about seem so familiar. I mean, this summer, hundreds of thousands of people in Metro Detroit area in my community lost power, some for as many as 6 to 7 days, Chairman. Our investor-owned, shareholder-centered electrical utility company called DTE has raised rates by nearly $1 billion in the last decade, while having some of the worst reliability and performance in the whole nation. So incredibly important for us to understand the connection between many of our districts and what is happening to the Puerto Rican people. In the last several weeks, numerous press accounts have emerged about the impact, as you all know, of the ongoing unreliable and substandard electrical service for Puerto Rican residents. These include reports of constant and extended outages that we've been talking about, lasting more than 24 to 48 hours in communities with many elderly residents and residents with chronic illnesses. And we all, as members of Congress, have experienced and heard from our residents about how, their health and everything is connected to the access to the electricity. I know the mayor of San Juan is spending nearly $1 million to buy generators for water pumps so that power outages do not continue to result in water outages. And the Secretary of Commerce and Economic Development has denounced the impact of poor service on economic development and so forth. We heard reports of power surges regularly destroying people's appliances. You all know that, even causing house fires, like an incident of a family that lost everything. And Aguadilla, after power surge, burned their house down. So, Mr. Chairman, we know that this terrible level of service isn't acceptable for the Puerto Rican people. It isn't acceptable in Michigan either, and it shouldn't be acceptable anywhere in our country or in our world. Privatizing electrical service is a disaster for the Puerto Rican people because private utilities serve investors, not the public. I'm going to say that again. Private utilities serve their investors, not the public. Reliability has worsened when it became private. And so we need to basically make sure that we're speaking that truth as we talk about these issues. So, Mr. Stensby, as of June 1st, more than 3,000 ex-PERMA employees transferred to other government agencies rather than work for Luma. How many workers and crews does Luma have assigned to the municipalities of Aguadilla and is it Ponce?
As I testified earlier, we have 900 employees that are in the field today. I can't tell you precisely how many are assigned to those two municipalities, Congresswoman.
Yeah, so they left Luma. How many left Luma?
How many left Luma?
So more than 3,000 ex-PERMA employees transferred. You said 3,000, and then they left. You said 900 went to the municipalities?
No, so I think it's a mischaracterization. Luma recruited, and for an employee, as Mr. Fontanez had testified, for an employee that was working for the government of Puerto Rico, they had a choice to join Luma or take a transfer to another agency within the government.
And 3,000 of them said we're going to leave Luma. Okay, what is the average crew response time for outages?
The average response time across the most recent month is in round numbers in the 5 or 6 hour time frame.
How many complaints has Luma Energy received regarding voltage, what they call fluctuations, damaging home appliances?
I don't have that specific number with me.
I would love if the committee can follow up and get that information. How much money has Luma Energy received so far under its contract? And again, I apologize if this was answered before, but I would like to know for the
Luma Energy, during this interim period, until the point in time when PREPA would eventually move out of bankruptcy, earns approximately $7 million a month.
Okay. How many Luma employees executives earn over $200,000, and how many earn over $500,000?
I think I was asked that question earlier, but
and you didn't want to answer, right?
I'm not able to disclose employee salaries.
Yeah. If you want to get in the business of providing a public good and for the federal government to subsidize it or for us to play a part in it, then you understand that those salaries are also the public salary. Do you understand? So just know that it doesn't make sense that you don't want to reveal that. You don't even have to tell me the names of it. I think Velasquez and I are just curious, how many of your employees earn over 200,000 and how many of them earn 500,000? I don't need names. I just want to know how many. So if you can follow up and talk to your legal folks, I think they'll come back and tell you that that should be actually transparent and open. Do you know what the median household income is in Puerto Rico? Sir?
No, I do not, Congressman.
Yeah, it's $20,000. According to the Census Bureau, $20,000. So Luma has received millions of dollars and stands to receive billions more in an attempt to privatize the grid in Puerto Rico over the next 15 years. But the last 4 months have been a disaster for the people of Puerto Rico, and privatization I know will only worsen it. So I just want your sir to understand that if you're going to serve the people, you should know what the median income is. You should know what the impact is. And the fact of the matter is you failed them just alone in the last 4 months. So please understand that my frustration with all of this is because they deserve to make sure that they have access to something that is very much a lifeline to medical issues that they're struggling with, being able to provide for their families, of course, food, all those things, appliances, everything is so connected to that. So with that, Chairman, I yield. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lady Yields. Let me call again on my colleague's Representative McClintock, if he is available now. If not, Representative Tiffany, if he's available.